What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek,
I'm Kevin.
and we're last week's album. We're bringing you two opinions on the best new music, and this week we're talking about Chaos and the Calm by James Bay, and we're asking the question, is James Bay's debut more chaos or calm? But before we dive into it, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
All right, so Chaos and the Calm is James Bay's debut full-length. He is a British singer-songwriter. He's from Hitchin, Hertfordshire, and this one was actually recorded in Nashville with producer Jacquire King, who worked with other notable artists such as Dawes of Monsters and Men, Cold War Kids, Punch Brothers, Kings of Leon, Langhorne Slim, Modest Mouse, and Tom Waits, just to name a few. And James Bay was recently named the Brits Critics Choice Award winner, so some hype around him and his debut. So there's the background, and so Kevin, why don't you start us off and tell us what you think it sounds like?
Sure. I think Chaos and the Calm sounds like a watered-down version of Hozier and Ben Howard. What do you think, Derek?
Kevin, I think Chaos and the Calm sounds like Sam Smith recreating Ryan Adams' Heartbreaker. So there you have it on Sounds Like. Key tracks, Kevin, what did you have?
I'm going with track number 8, which is called Scars. What about you?
All right, I'm actually going with the album opener, Craving. So all kicks off. Craving has this driving snare drum beat throughout the song, so it really maintains this high energy. Verses feature strummed acoustic guitar with subtle electric guitar flourishes in the background, which become more pronounced as the song progresses. Choruses really open up with electric guitar chords, soaring vocal melody, and a bito falsetto there towards the end of the chorus. And the bridge, there's a short organ cameo before piano briefly carries the instrumental melody, beginning the final build-up. The lyrics kind of describe uneasiness of being at a crossroads in life, breakups, leaving one's hometown, etc. And at the end of the chorus, one lyric I really liked: "Am I on my own? Am I even close? Because I'm craving something I can feel." I just really, this was such a high energy song. I really dug it, and you know, made me want to keep listening, thinking, you know, there's gonna be something to feel later on or something, you know, as the lyrics would suggest. So, Craving. Now, Kevin, why don't you please tell us about Scars?
Sure. If that, which I agree, as you mentioned, is a high-energy song, this would be at pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum. It sort of starts with this echoing electric guitar at the opening, soon followed by James's subtle vocals. The verse and chorus, I thought, have the most interesting and unique vocal melodies on the entire album. Later, some drums and organ and bass ebb their way in. And even later, we get some acoustic strumming that sort of joins in as the drums get more punctuated. And the electric guitar noodling here, Derek, you mentioned that Jacquire King produced some Kings of Leon albums. The electric guitar here really reminds me of late Kings of Leon. In fact, the entire song structure, this sort of pensive, emotional, slow burner, reminds me a lot of recent Kings of Leon. But overall, it's an exercise in restraint. A lot of his songs go for the anthemic. And this one, or that made this one really stand out to me, that it went sort of the opposite end of that spectrum. So definitely dig Scars. You guys should check it out too.
Yeah, Kevin, I totally know what you're talking about on those guitars. I definitely did a double take numerous times. Like, am I listening? Oh, yeah, I had to make sure I wasn't listening to Kings of Leon. So that brings us to Best Lyric. Kevin, what did you have?
I'm going with a line from Best Fake Smile, where he says, "She empties all the tip jars and won't get back what she lost." And I found that his best lines are where he sort of plays with metaphors, and I think this year is a prime example of that. But what did you dig lyrically, Derek?
I'm taking one from a song called Move Together, where he's kind of talking about being with a loved one before going away, so it's kind of last night. And he says, "We didn't get tonight, we don't have tomorrow, so don't ruin now." Just really concise, but I really like the way he, mixed all these tenses together and really brings it to a finite point of that moment. Just kind of cool. All right, so that brings us to overall rating. And the question is James Bay's debut more chaos or calm? So, Kevin, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. As for rating, I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. I think he's got a really great soulful voice, but he kind of over-relies on the same emotional vein of longing and doesn't do much interesting with his voice. As a writer, to echo that he relies a little bit too much on longing, he does that same thing lyrically, and it's a lot of troubled love songs and love-sick songs, from breaking up to sort of begging to begin. Incomplete, I thought, was really the only interesting concept lyrically, and there's some decent lyrics here and there, but overall sort of like everyman love lines, I found. But it's solid, but overall just sort of unremarkable. And is it more chaos or calm? I would say it's more calm. I think he has a lot of formulaic, anthemic vibes to this, but whereas those could be big, when it's one after the other, it all just sort of bleeds into this like calmness, and you're sort of lulled into complacency despite the sort of bigness of some of these songs. So I think he would do a little bit better with a little bit more chaos. But what do you think, Derek?
Kevin, I'm pretty much in agreement. Overall rating, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 5. Yeah, one thing that really jumped out to me was how talented of a vocalist he is. But at the same time, I really had a lot of the same thoughts, especially as far as the lyrical content. I had written down a lot of songs talking about saying goodbye, and if we learned anything from the Beatles, it's you got to at least add in some hellos to counteract all the goodbyes. I mean, geez. The high energy opener, I really thought, even though you mentioned, yeah, definitely there were some bit larger moments musically, I still felt like after that, the opening track, everything kind of, there were only slow burners, there weren't too many high energy ones. There were some, highlights towards the end of the album. Scars, as you mentioned, Collide, I thought was also really good. And so that just made me think of Ryan Adams' Heartbreaker, where you have just a great album opener, To Be Young on Ryan Adams and Craving here, but then it just slows down. And unfortunately, I just didn't like this quite as much as I like Heartbreaker. So unfortunately, the metaphor kind of ends there. So overall, I got to say, I completely agree with you. It's definitely more calm than chaos. So there you have it. A combined 5 out of 10 from Kevin and I on Chaos and the Calm, if I can ever find the album name, which we determined to be more calm than chaos. So there you have it, but you still check it out if, these British singer-songwriters doing pretty well over here, so, might as well check it out. And don't forget to join us next time here at last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe to last week's album. And, check in next time. We will continue bringing you 2 opinions on the best new music. Until then, I'm Derek.
I'm Kevin. Cheers, guys.